This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. But I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas.
Good night, Bahamas, and international listeners that tune in to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I am your host, Valentino Brown, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres every Friday, except holidays, at 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, and you can text us at 422-GR96, and you can look us up on, I think, Cable Bahamas, Guardian Quest. And tune in and listen to a show that is dedicated to the Bahamian people. This show is to talk about, things that we don't normally talk about on the airwaves that are secrets, and we bring it to reality in order to change the country and have a conversation that affects each and every one of us. And I assure each and every one of you who take the time out to listen inside this inner city. This show reflects on you. We provide solutions. We are doing solutions. We also listen to the public support, and we also want the public to come and voice their opinions. Besides the set who keep on calling in, like this is a personal show for them to keep on calling on here with their personal views, This show is to help improve the country moving forward. We're not back and forth and trying to bring down nobody. The only people I talk about that I would probably say something to is leaders who have the power to make change. And if they have a program or have an idea that can benefit the Bahamian people, and they don't do it in that time frame as a prime minister or someone who has power, I talk about that matter. And that's the only time I would criticize a person, because it's the job that they take, but they inherit. When they inherit that to make the lives of Bahamian people better. Okay? Now, people make mistakes. So, in reference, what I'm saying is like, if I'm going to say something with somebody, it has to do something personal that could benefit the nation, but it was not done, even though they're speaking about doing a program that is going to benefit the nation. And when I talk about that, reference like the Urban Design Lab, which is the Overland Initiative, which was dedicated to all the research, all the people who were a part of it, the University of the Bahamas, students of Vienna, Austria, on behalf of the Bahamas government, myself consulting with the Bahamas government, IDB Bank, Rosemary Hanna, Yuli Vogus, Antonio Roberts, Dougal Studios, and many, many others who contributed to putting an idea and a plan together to better the country. And I speak on that when I refer to the former Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Hubert Alexander Minnis, because I knew I was on the ground. I was the number one consultant on the ground, working, giving ideas, just like many other people from the University of the Bahamas and many other persons who contributed and put their ideas together. But when it comes to on the ground, the Father blessed me with a lot of wisdom and understanding on how I can give these people an insight on how they can draw up this plan that could benefit both the Bahamian people, the government, and the Bahamian people. And that's why I would say something about the former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Minnis, because he had an opportunity to make the lives of the Bahamian people better. He had a blueprint, and for that, I speak on that. But other than that, I don't talk people personally because no one is perfect. So without sense that is out, I want to say today we're going to have a wonderful show. I'm going to try my best. We're going to talk about how does the Haitian migration coming to the Bahamas affects us here in the country. And we're going to talk about that like later on in the show, but I just want to open up with CARICOM. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity, was invited to be on Season Louis show, and Miss Erin Green. I don't know if it's Season Louis or Erin Green, but anyway, I was parked the back on that show, and we had a discussion on, certain issues. And some of the issues, Mr. Nuri is making good points, Ms. Green is making points, and then, we were all collaborating together and having a conversation so everyone could have a complete understanding. So it was a good conversation. And then someone came up with power on what can we do as a government and who is over the government. And my take was CARICOM is over the Prime Minister when it comes to making decisions, because we just saw recently where the former Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Minnis, he was doing a slightly good job with the immigration policy. And we saw that when he pushed down the Shantytown in a certain manner, Poisson's filed a lawsuit. I think it was, I get his name in my head, the attorney, the AG, what his name is now? Oh man, I get his name right in my head. But anyway, he filed a complaint on behalf of the Shantytown residents, and they were able to get an injunction where no one can build or demolish shantytowns, and so it was a standstill. And we saw that, and even though the Prime Minister was fighting to push down the shantytowns, then an injunction was put in by the court. So the court also has power similar to the Prime Minister, but there's a body that we sign on with people who understand. It's like signing on to the UN, The CARICOM means all Caribbean countries together as one to find solutions to each and every Caribbean problem, whether it comes to trading, immigration policies, drugs, etc. And we were supposed to work together, CARICOM. As far as I'm concerned, from its inception, it has been a complete failure. Complete failure. The amounts of deaths happening in the Caribbean countries, with the amount of unemployment in Jamaica, the Bahamas, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, and etc., it's complete failure. Because with all those great Caribbean countries, all those great leaders, you're trying to tell me we have similar problems, and we couldn't get it right, and couldn't get poverty under control, murders under control, and we know what the problem was in each and every country. We know this was a design plan. We know that we were brought here. Some of us were here, and it's our land, but, switch over. We're not into all of that. We listened to many of the leaders who spoke, the prime ministers, lady from the Caribbean country, she spoke. Then the next prime minister spoke, and they were speaking on behalf of, what is it? Reparation for the wrong that the European countries did to the Bahamas, Jamaica, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, all those that were brought into slavery. Like I said, many people were free, living in their land. Then there were some brought on the ships, and those are asking for reparation. If you listen to CARICOM, they're talking about reparation. Now, when we were on Mr. Nuri and Ms. Green show, I was making this suggestion that if the U.S. and France were to do this reparation as the payback for France, putting a tax on Haiti after Haiti won their independence from France, and this actually, this adds up to billions, Back in the day, with the taxes put on was very high. And that today is like billions. I think they just finished paying it off 10 years ago and have yet to recover. Not only that, the US is in there, France is in there, and they're exploiting the natural resources that are in Haiti. And for many reasons, like I said, people, country got corrupt, politics got in it, and to destabilize the country, crime increase, people have lost their morals, and anything goes now in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, where we're seeing Haitians kill one another. Those who leave from the Bahamas or get sent back to the Bahamas, they're targeted in Haiti, as we listen to Andre Joseph, who was on the radio a few weeks ago, talking about the situation in Haiti, and he don't like certain things what the Haitian migrants are doing coming here to the Bahamas, as far as coming on land illegally and squatting. And he said in Haiti you can't do it like that. So he understands everything that the Bahamian people is going through, and he was sincere, and he's just one of the good ones. So that has caused a problem because people running their countries rich, They were one of the richest Caribbean countries in the world before they got this tax, put on them. It's like an embargo, and it brings down your money value, and then you owe us a lot. And because you're paying for your freedom and you're not paying attention to your citizens, and then people exploiting the country, and with high crime and high, poverty, disease, and etc. People will do anything to leave the country. And before independence, we all were one people, not just Haitians. We were Africans, Indians, all one race fighting for the same cause. Then independence kind of separated us, and we lost our way. We got named Bahamas, we got named Jamaica, we got named Haiti, we got named Trinidad and Tobago, and all of us, some of us were on the land, some of us were brought there on ships, and we were brought there from the European countries that at that time were using the slaves as prophets to build up the land. So it has caused us here in the Bahamas, who are a small nation, our heart is big, we are compassionate, and it has affected us so tremendously now that people have been coming to the Bahamas for over 50 years, and they're looking for a better way of life. And we're also talking about the Chinese, we're talking about the Europeans, we're talking about the Americans, but the vast majority are Asian nationals, who are coming here, some illegally, and many people now are out of work. And when I look at the Prime Minister's statement a few weeks ago, but 18% of Bahamians are unbanked in the Bahamas. 18% represents, I think he said, about 70,000 have no access to banking in the country. Does this affect us? What does this mean? This means something. This 18% bears 18% of Bahamians are unbanked. 70,000, the Prime Minister said this. No access to banking. And then I listened to some of the interviews, and you would hear some of the Bahamian people saying that the bank charges you for interest and et cetera. They use your money, which you put in the bank, and add interest onto your money. And if your money stay in the bank, they deduct 25 cents or 50 cents every time you go on your account to take off money, they deduct. So, in a way, I can understand. And then many Bahamians don't have the knowledge. I won't say have the knowledge, they just don't have the money. Reference to that also is, I listened some time back, and I think it was close to 40 to 45,000 Bahamians around the COVID-19 time were unemployed in the country. And I know for myself, living in the city community, it's very higher. That's just a statistical point. Even with the 18%, I think it's more than 70,000 Bahamians who don't have no banking in the country. I think that could be anywhere to 150 to 160, probably 170,000. As far as the 45% to 50% of Bahamians unemployed in the country, I could say that could add up to about the same thing too, about 100 to 140,000 to 150,000 people in this country unemployed. Okay? And then when I look at in the Guardian, let me see what it says now. Let me see if I could find it. Come on, man. Okay. So in the Guardian, this was a few days ago, revenue rises up, but deficit up. So the revenue is up 111.5 million in 46 months. Deficit comes in at 285.7 million, right? And the debit increased to over $11 billion. So government travel budget grows from 14.8 million to 18.8 million. Now, 18% unbanked. And like I said, they said 70,000 statistically wide or survey wide, and I could say 150. 45% to 50% are unemployed in the country, right? And like I said, again, let me repeat it. The revenue is up 111.5 million in 46 months, 285.7 million, and the debit increased to over $11 billion. And the government travel budget grows from $14.8 million to 18.8 million. Okay. Has this anything to do with illegal migration? So I was listening to this young gentleman on Facebook, and he was making a comment to Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain. And I want to make something real clear. I have nothing against Mr. Bain. The only thing I would like to say to Mr. Bain and his organization, they have their own ways of doing things. You know, I'm not criticizing nobody. I'm just saying things need to be done more professionally as to avoid confrontation. The country is done in a bad state. Okay, we need calm. We need collective, organized. You know, you don't need to get so. It wasn't so wrong the last time. You know. But avoid confrontation. I tell you, members, you know, everyone don't have to be so agitated every time. Let one person speak and go from there, you know, because people want to be a part of it, but some people don't like certain attitude, because we have this discussion about just about every leader in the country, and we as Bahamian could see sheep in wolf clothing, okay? Not to be disrespectful to the Pope, but the sheep and the wolf clothing is there, and we all know that, okay? And we just need a peaceful resolution. We can't have an internal war in our country, because we have people incorporated in our system now that we can't get rid of. They're part of our country. You know what I mean? We all were from different places before we came to the Bahamas. Like I said, some people were already here. The Indians were here. My descendants were here. You understand? They were black. Okay? Centuries ago. Okay? And we are all from different parts of the Caribbean and different parts of Africa. And we're here. And we are one people. We have different religion. We have different belief. Some of us have different ways. But we got to learn how to resolve our conflict in a peaceful manner. And that's my 2 cents on it, you know. We just have to be more because, the gentleman is making some valid points, like we all are making valid points. So keep it calm and keep it collect and gain traction, Be able to negotiate with the leaders. If you listen to see our Deputy Leader, Maria Doxson, sitting down the other day, sitting down with the Minister of Immigration. She was talking loud, but when she with the minister, notice the tone of voice. When you're sitting down in the office and you're seeing people face to face, it's a whole different thing. I notice voice on. See people more hard out there. When they're talking out there, when they see this one, I can do this and that. But when they get into the presence of people, they are humble. So sometimes you just need to be humble, and that's how you get things done. Yeah. So the gentleman said that, Mr. Bean, and we all say this, I can't have no way because of Bahamian. See, they say Bahamian's lazy. So he said, Bahamians aren't lazy, just we can't find no employment. I'm a skilled carpenter, he looking for $150 a day. So when he go look on jobs, in the Bahamas, in this country, they say Bahamian's lazy, so he's looking for work. He said he will go on a job site. When he reached there, he's skilled, and he would say, any work? So the guy said, yeah, some work here. You ready to work for $80? So he's saying, man, I said, skill, I could do all this. My skills is $150, and he can't get $150. It's not slavery. The guy said, what are you saying? He said, the foreman called him. Say, man, who? The guy you're doing it for $70 or $80, man, the Haitian national. So we have a lot of options going on in the country when many Bahamians who won't work can't work because underpaid persons are taking the jobs and devaluing the jobs. You'd get more done with, like I said, you get more done with the person you pay less. You understand? Because they're desperate, they want to work. A Bahamian living in this country where bills are high, he paying light bill, he paying water bill, he paying cable bill, he paying gas bill, he paying his woman bill, he paying grocery bills, So the bills are high. And we must remember that even though we're the richest Caribbean country in the Western Hemisphere, we also are the most expensive place to live in the country. And we are taxed higher. The Bahamian people are being taxed left and right. So you expect for a young man who lives in the Bahamas to ask for at least $150 a day or $100 a day if he is skilled, Because at the end of the day, when he go home, he has to $700 to $800 per week. He could work probably Saturday and Sunday, make a cap his paycheck to $1,000, and he'd put in the work. So it's a big problem. You say wherever you go, it's like that. And for many Bahamians around the country, when it comes to landscaping, cleaning yards, even when it comes to selling food now, we are completely being outdone in the country. So that's why I think it's so hard on Bahamians now living in the country, because many persons, like I say, who come here, persons will hire them. I see the government is cracking down on that. They're saying they're going after people who now hiring if they don't have the proper paperwork or permits. Government will be going at them in full force. That's good. That's good. But I also made reference to the reparation back to Haiti. France and the United States can make the biggest difference if they were to do this. If you listen to the CARICOM leaders and you saw the Duke, who is next in line for the throne of England after his father, he spoke about the atrocity his country did. He spoke about it, and he is in a way of thinking about reimbursing the Caribbean countries who were held in slavery in all of the Caribbean countries. And this would be a good thing for Haiti. This way they could probably get their act together if people were to start getting currency in their pocket. They'd have to increase the value dollars of Haiti now. They'd have to increase the dollar. It can't be the same. as it is now. No, because it remain the same unless they're going to put U.S. and France money directly in the banking industry in Haiti for it to make a full impact. Along with the Haitian money, they're going to need like 3 different money. They're going to need U.S. money. They're going to need money from France because France dollar is kind of high too. And then you're going to need, like I said, Haiti money along with that to restabilize Haiti so they could start to educate themselves, so they could start living humanity again, so they could start cultivating again and regaining their identity. I recommend, when I said it before it went to Carol Come on Season Newey show on Miss Green show, I recommended that our Prime Minister, Brave Davis, speak on this matter. I didn't know they was going to Carol Come, I said he need to speak on this matter to other leaders in the Caribbean to say, hey, let the United States and France do reparations to Haiti. Because in doing so, the money would start to go to the citizens, and the citizens themselves could start to develop their homes again, develop their farms again, start small business again. And this, in turn, with ease to flow of violence, is going to take time. But if people know that they're getting paid as being a Haitian national, because they say you're born to Haitian parents anywhere in the world, you're still Haitian. So that means you could go back to your home now, knowing that you could get compensation for the wrong that France and the U.S. and the world has been doing to this country for years and years, and they destabilize it. Okay? They did it to Jamaica. They do it to us too in the Bahamas too, What you think the blacklisting all about? They used to threaten you if you don't do and sign on to certain agreements like CARICOM or the UN. That's what happens to any country. Any country that objects to it, you will get blacklisted. And we are threatened about it. If you listen to when Hubert Ingram was in power, he wasn't afraid of it. And he spoke on it many times. If you listen, he was telling the European nations, he was sending them a message also. If you was listening to Hubert Ingram and he was in power, he was sending a message to the European nation, even though he's signing a certain stuff. But if you don't, they put sanctions on you. They devalue your dollar, and they bring chaos to your country. Okay? To destabilize it. To be like Haiti. So we got to be very careful. And our Prime Minister, he spoke, on the matter. And now they're saying they want the British want to have a dialogue at CARICOM now because they know this is a solution. Unless I was saying this, they're completely useless because they could do this a long time ago. They know what the problem was that was facing Haiti, and all these countries that have these violent incidents, countries where you see going back in the 60s and 70s with the crack cocaine, all of that was a design. You want to see all of it was like in all of these Caribbean countries, it was like that in Haiti, it was like that in the Bahamas, it was like that in Jamaica, it was like that in the U.S., in the inner city communities, all over the world. Now they're saying the war on drugs it doesn't make no sense. It ain't solving nothing. In fact, it makes things worse, and the prisons get full. And that's why so many persons charged with drug offenses in the U.S. are very highly populated because of the design to break the structure of the family structure across the Caribbean. And this would happen to destabilize it. So it's time for a change. And I hope that our leaders and the CARICOM leaders, Brave Davis, the Honorable Prime Minister, was the chairperson of CARICOM. So I hope that the dialogue continue of paying back the wrong that has been done to Haiti, to the Bahamas, to Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, to Africa, where these atrocities has happened and has caused us to be in the situation we're in all around the world today. Yes. So if you don't want to sign on the CARICOM, you get sanctioned and you get blacklisted. You don't want to sign on to the UN, these things happen to you. You want to fight against the US, you get sanctions put on. Prime example is Russia. Prime example is Iran, Iraq, and many other Caribbean countries. Many other countries. And some Caribbean countries also felt the wrath, like Haiti and Jamaica. Because before the Bahamas was dollar for dollar, these two countries were the richest in the Caribbean. Go do your research and do your history. Yeah, so I think it has a serious effect on us here. It has displaced Bahamians from getting a high-paying job. If I'm an employee and if I could get someone, the minimum wage is what? They think 250, 260, 250, right? But, some skilled persons working on the construction site, they're skilled, so you can't get them $50. Help us with $50 or et cetera. But for guys who are skilled, with carpentry and painting and et cetera, who are very skilled, and they're professional and they know how to get a job done, they know how to do it by the square feet. Like painters know how to do square feet. These guys looking for $100 to $150 a day. And that's what they're qualified for based on the square feet that they're going to paint in a particular manner. Or someone who lay in block. Some guys that charge $1.50, $2 a block, and they lay like 1,000 blocks a day. They want like $150 a day. And that's what you're supposed to pay a Bahamian. But if you have people coming here illegally and the bosses know and employees know, man, hey, what? Man, I paying them all that? And I could get this guy here to do it for $60. So what you think is going to be the option? So as long as people are here in the country, they're going to take a lot of employment away from Bahamians. That's why we have so many people in the country now are unemployed. And there's no way the government's going to fix this. There's no way. Because every day I live in the inner city community, and people ask me for work every day. I don't know what I could do. I'd be asking church for help and to be overwhelmed. I overwhelmed. So I come up with my plan, what I could do in my particular little community as to find ways to bring in employment. It's taking a little while, but step by step, I'm gradually gaining more knowledge about it. I'm studying it. I'm looking at the community, and I'm going to see how things are going to work and see how I can bring some empowerment and ownership of business in that small square of community, because I see, hey, we have gone from being an island, right? The Bahamas has gone from being an island with the maritime, with the fishing industry, with the tourism industry, with the entertainment industry. We have gone from that now to selling drugs. A young man now on the streets, his employment now is to sell half bags or sell drugs on the streets in Nassau, New Providence. A young lady now who is unemployed in the country now, she's sleeping around just to make a couple dollars and gonna have unwanted children in the world, and we're gonna be in this mess over and over and over again. That's all happening that's here in this country. The government is not gonna help you, The Prime Minister of this country, he's gonna help a lot of people. You understand? But he's gonna leave thousands and thousands, much more he's gonna leave out because he can't do it alone. So you have to be creative in your own mind and try to look at your community, try to look at yourself, and do your best to come up with a solution for yourself. You understand? The United States was built up off of slaves. Okay? They were the ones who built the building. Right? And yet still, that's not being told. They were the carpenters. They were the builders. They were the plumbers. They were the electricians. And the slave masters were there. And gave them a little seed. And they made trillions of dollars off the box. Around the world and around the Caribbean. So don't wait on government. I can tell you all this now. The Prime Minister is a good man, but right now, as you can see, you're seeing they're getting death threats. The Prime Minister got a death threat. Now the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture got a death threat. They had to evacuate the building today. What is all that saying to you? It's saying to you that people who support the party are now disgruntled because they are not getting that special privilege for being there for the party. So they think they're being there with the minister before they was ministers, and they were the campaign generals or someone they know, and it was supposed to be a deal where he was supposed to get straight, he or she's supposed to get straight when the minister get in power. But the minister's overwhelmed because he have so many people he's dealing with. He might not forget about you, but when he's so busy with so many different things, it slipped his mind. Now the person disgruntled, person called, I think, what is the minister, youth sports and culture, Mario Boleg, threatened that if the minister don't give him a call, he can blow up the building. Then we had a death threat against the prime minister. What is all this saying? It's showing you how desperate people are, because things are expensive, they have responsibility, and they're dependent on those who depended on them. And now, if it was not given in a timely fashion, people are going after sending death threats to the prime minister and to the minister of youth, sports, and culture, and they had to evacuate the building. It tells you how desperate people are in this country. So I think the Bahamian people right now, we losing all around. Young gentleman is right. I have nothing against no person coming here illegally, but it's a screen on us, and something needs to be done. The task force has just been formed. So I don't know. I don't know where we're headed, but all I can tell you is this. A lot of people right now are out of work, don't have no place to stay, don't even have a meal to eat right now. And the government of Obama started off so good, but in the last 2-3 months, all hell is broken loose. That winning the election, or that whatever was happening, right now, it's people's stomach right now, and it ain't looking so good now for the government. They said they was gonna do 3 things: deal with crime, I think deal with poverty, and one other situation, immigration. And right now, election is over now. The opposition is pouring it on. You listen to Michael Pintard. He's making some valid points in the House of Assembly, So he's making some valid points, So I just want to say to all those who are listening, try your best, If you have a family member out there who, you have a problem with, and they have a house, and you don't have a house, and you don't get along, could be a brother, sister, or cousin, go and talk to them and apologize and see, if you need a place to stay, and just apologize. Get together with your family member or someone you know, a friend who you feel like could rent you a little convenience store or something, and y'all two will probably fall out. Go and apologize. If you're a brother, sister out there who you don't speak to in a little while, go and apologize and go talk to them, man. Listen to me, man. We need each and every one of you out there to pull together, okay? We're bringing on one another in this country. Let's get together again, all right? Talk to your loved one, man. Don't let your family house go down the drain. Don't let your apartments go down the drain because brother and sister ain't getting along. Come on, man. Elevate yourself and let's get this country back. We're going to take this call on Inside in the City. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Scrooge.
Good night.
Good night. This Laurie Boy and this your neighbor around through Hay Street.
Okay.
Let me assure you that in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, our people must never lose hope because we have investigated this years ago from I was in the police force. You know who you're speaking to, Berenice Johnson. Our people, the 3 prime ministers will be a part of this where exoneration from Sir Stafford Sands, Sir Roland Simonette, and the late Sir Lyndon Pinling. Okay? So I'm still in the pilot project house through Hay Street. You know, when you come through from Market Street,
Yes, ma'am.
this is the house where they said that women were supposed to empower. I'm here, where most of the blame has to be laid at the former woman parliamentarians, not our politicians. And these threats of anger by our people who are frustrated and hungry. I am still living here, and you notice my house is grown up. And there are women who say that they have empowered women, but yet my investigations would cause them to be speaking about empowerment. Okay, so our people will not suffer. I can assure you, over the hill, being in Grantstown, you can check with me because you know where I am. You know where you're speaking to, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, you anytime, because see, right here, it looked like garbage in front of my house. But plenty people, those people who behind the threats, all those who made the threats, they lead to certain former woman parliamentarians. And our police officers are the best, especially those from 1980 to 1989. They are the best in the world, okay? And you all can be assured this is about one Bahamas National Financial Freedom Plan, and the late Celindan Pinling name will be cleared. And that's one of the main reasons why I used to be on the airwave when they cut me. They always cut me because they know I speak truth and we have the solution. So let me reassure all our listeners, it is not going to be that way. We can access the money, and this present Prime Minister, God ushered him in for his reason, and my mortal boss, so I call, former Prime Minister Hubert Alexander Ingham. This was supposed to have been done from 2012, but we had external forces interfering. So anytime, Scrooge, and we have the National Insurance Board, I have an outstanding case there, I will keep in contact with you. When you pass through, you can always hail me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, God bless you there.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye.
Good night to you. Yeah. And my whole thing is this. The Bahamas has gone to a concrete jungle. We lose our culture and we lose our ways. You know what I mean by concrete jungle? We used to go on the beach, we used to fish. We used to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. You know, I didn't like. Now you want just driving cars, coat suit up, eating all the pork chop and etc. And we do it in our culture, you know, our Bahamian music, you know, our entertainment, you know, how we used to get together under the trees and etc. We need to regain that, you know. I think we've lost in touch with our family. Like I was saying earlier on the show, I was seeing all this in the community, you know. All of this. So I just want to encourage people, you know, talk to your family member you don't talk to in a long time. You never know what a talk could do or apology can do, you know. You know, if we keep this up, it ain't look like it working for us. And when I was talking earlier, all right, let me give you a prime example why money flowing the way it's supposed to be flowing unless you're getting empowered by government or you have a high-paying job. Okay, I always stated this. The U.S., when they put money in your country, especially when it comes with the tourism products, means tourists come to the Bahamas, they bring their checks, they bring U.S. cash. When they come to spend. And when they spend the McDonald's, when they spend the Kentucky, when they spend the fish fry, and when they spend to all the restaurants from Podolsky Dock, etc. You know, the revenue is collected, and then when it goes to the store owners, they separate the Bahamian money and they accumulate the American money. Why they're doing that is because the Americans know the value of their money. They know if their money was to circulate and stay in the Bahamas, how it could benefit us greatly because we're dollar for dollar with them. So what they do is they have agreement with the Bahamas government that they gather as much of the money that comes here to the Bahamas, and then they'd start up, and then they ship it out where we'd see 2 armored vehicles along with 2 motorbikes, 2 armored vehicles, sometimes 3, and then a patrol car. And you would normally see it leave Central Bank, and then you'd see it go by C.R. Walker. And I would always ask question about that. And then when I asked question, they'd say that's the money leaving, what they gather up in the Bahamas from the various businesses, U.S. currency, and they would carry it to Canada, ship it to Canada. Royal Bank of Canada, and the money ships out. That money, actually what they're shipping out, is supposed to be distributed here in the country. So that's why we have so much poverty level. And the money goes to the U.S. and Canada and the European countries. Not only that, we have a lot of European banks here that also accumulate American money. Then we have the Chinese. They are set up in inner city communities. And what they do is they separate the American money from the Bahamian money. And they stocks up on the American money. And they put the Bahamian money in the bank. And they ship the American money back to China. Okay? Then with the Haitians here who are working and accumulate the wealth here. And like I say, I'm not criticizing nobody. People have family, they have needs. Our government failed to protect us here in the country. So the people make the money here, what Bahamians supposed to be making. And they accumulate it. And they get up the American currency. And they find ways of shipping that back to Haiti because they know the value of that is 100 times more in Haiti. So we have millions going to Haiti, millions going to the U.S. and Canada, millions going to China, right? So what's here for us? All that money is leaving. If you add up all the money you would live in, that they're gathering up from all the tourists, that 7 million, we are estimated of 10 million, right? And if we, like they say, like the Prime Minister said, 18% of Bahamians are unbanked, and that represents 70,000, right? Have no access to banking. And then 45 to 50%, 1,000 Bahamians are unemployed, right? And I could say, like, again, I'd say 150,000 Bahamians don't have a proper or access to banking. And I'd say our next 150,000 Bahamians are unemployed in the country. So you see why we're unemployed in the country? Because we want to be a city. So we become a corporation. And we lose all the trade. We lose the agriculture. We lose the small trades, that we were good at, like carpenters, fishermen, boat builders, guys who make artifacts, good with their hands. Guys who are good with cultivating coconut and, the arts, the music industry, We have lost that because we want to become a city. So now we have no creative ways for Bahamians to make money now. Because we don't cook no more. If you look on East Street and around in the city community, I want to tell you if they want something to eat, you go in Haitian Mommy. You go back 30, 40 years ago, we had many milk stands, Bahamians selling finger food, convenience stores. Now all that is eroded. We have people who take on the identity of us now, and they're making a better living. Why is me and you are just arguing with one another, don't like one another? We have a house. We are two brothers. Okay, let me give you a prime example. When I was a little boy, I watched the many businesses in the inner city community. We had the Capitol Theater, and we had the Next Theater, and we had the Palm Tree. Palm Tree was run by Mr. Russell, and I could always remember as a little boy, go in there, buy my hamburger for $1.25. My uncle, everyone used to eat from the Palm Tree. Everyone in the Bahamas probably who lived in the inner city community at the time, to Wolf Road, knew about the Palm Tree. Well, the Palm Tree was, I tell you, Mr. Russell probably made a couple million there because it was right on the side of the Capitol Theater. So people who go to the theater would also stop and go to Mr. Russell. And there were two revenue spots. And in there were a lot of businesses up in there that were prosperous. You had tailor shops, you had guys who were doing the carving, steel drum guys, newspaper guys who selling coconut, and et cetera. People who had convenience store, barbers, and et cetera. And Mr. Russell passed away. and his siblings, his children, if I'm correct, they couldn't come to agreement on who was going to run the business. Now this is $1 million business now, and it's going to be beneficial to the family for whatever reason, and I hope they're listening. They decided not to work together. Now the place is rotting down. Right inside the Beauty Bakery. Hasn't been open in about 20 years. His son now has a restaurant on Blue Hill Road. I don't understand that whatsoever, but he's doing very well. And he looked just like Mr. Russell, and he named Mr. Russell. So that's us, you know. Before we work together, we rather break down one another and let something go to dust because brothers and sisters don't like one another. And, you know, that's how it is. You know, the black crab syndrome is serious, you know. You understand? It's very serious in this country. So I'm advising people, talk to your uncle, talk to your cousin, talk to your family member or friend. You know, probably even your enemy. You know, because your enemy can become your friend, you know. I'd like to suggest to some of these guys out there, you know, you're your enemy. Let me tell you something if you don't live long. You see your enemy, he'd respect you more one day you just pull up on him. And just say, man, brother, man, look, why don't just sit down and have a discussion, man, and see if we could work this out. If it ain't too damaging, you know, and see if, man, we could work it out. And you never know, that's by you approaching that person, whatever problem you had in the near future, that could be squashed just by simple words, you know. These things happen to me. So I want to say this to the young guys out there. I had some of the most dangerous set of arch rivals in the country. Okay? I had guys like Marvin Bodie. You know one more crooked than Marvin Bodie in this country. To me, he is the number one bad boy in history now, so besides Lil Longs. He's still living, he live in Mason Edition. Changed around his life. He's still crooked though, but that's my boy, and that was my arch rivalry. And I had some of the seriousest set of guys. And these guys are serious guys. I was serious too, but these guys they're cliques of guys, you know, just like me, you know, but I was ballsy, excuse my language. And I was nervy, but these guys mean business, you know. And guys like Chelsea Lundy, aka Scrooge, you know, guys like France Pascal. France fired 15 shots at me, you know, with a 9mm. Shot my cousin chicken in his back shooting at me. Scrooge, Kelsey Dundee, when we was in the gang days. They're good guys now, you know, we good friends now. Shot at me also. Marvin Bodie, you know, shot at me numerous times. In fact, BMT2 clip at me out of 245, him and Arlington Butler, who's now deceased, you know. And you know what? When we end up in a position where we end up with a little small conversation or we locked up in the station and we start to talk. And the minute start we talking and we try to kill one another. Some people got hurt serious. Some people lost their lives. But when we talked, it's like that eased all the tension between us. And after that, we had this little 1-2 conversation, you know, like I tell you with Celine. We never had no confrontation no more, and we were trying to harm and kill one another for years. So sometimes I just take a little talk, you know. I want you to bear in mind, you know, people, no one's going to be able to change this country. You go as an individual, you're going to have to change this country. I talk to some rich people, and they say, I ask them a question. I say, do you think the Bahamas is independent? Hear what they tell me. They say independence. They say independence is something you got to take and earn and get to the top. Because when you be able to buy your own house, you're able to save up enough money to take care of yourself and your family, to make sure you could get everything you need. You could pay for your plane ticket, you could pay to send your child to school or buy a car off the lot, and you still get your business income coming in. They say that's the real independence, what you're looking for. You know, you're going to have to take it and earn it. You listen to Frankie Wilson. You listen to the Sunshine Boys. They learning off Roland Simonet and Sir Stafford Sands. And they were the ones who gave them the funds to start the Sunshine Boys. And that was able to start the Progressive Liberal Party. And that was able to turn poor boys like Frankie Wilson, who said he never slept in a bed till he was, 17 or 18. Now he's a multi-millionaire, probably billionaire. The late, great Bradley Roberts. Even Mr. Perry Christie, Hubert Ingram. They take what they want from this country, They sacrifice first, and they didn't make themselves millionaires. We can say off the backbones of Bahamians, right? But the fact of the matter is, they were barefoot. Some of them had siblings, 7, 8 siblings, them single parent. And they were able to overcome. And all of them were poor. So you have to take what you want from this country. You understand? You better listen. Because the people is going to still be coming here. And I just gave you all the statistics we were facing. Go start your business. If you're working, save up your money. If you have a family member who's kind of doing good, right? And you're all too followed, and they probably want to help you, but probably it's you. Change your attitude and apologize. Change your ways. And go talk to them and ask them to give a little hand up to help you to better yourself. You understand? Because no one coming to help you. Help comes when you go there and help yourself. So I just want to have this conversation with you guys out there today. That's how serious it is. So that's why I said, how does Haitian migration to the Bahamas affect us? And that's how it affects us. And then it affects us from the healthcare, the education. It puts screens. We have an influx of people. We sign on the CARICOM. When we sign on the CARICOM, we have the 2 things humanity. That's why the Prime Minister couldn't just go and push down the shantytowns, because we signed on the CARICOM and for humanitarian contracts we sign with CARICOM. And then the courts are there to support, because it's the judiciary, it's the government. There's 3 powers. And they're separate in some cases. So yes. Yeah. So many people are out of work and they're not going to be able to find work. Because we become a concrete jungle. We become a city. And we lost our way. The producer just stepped out. He'll be right back in about a few seconds. So I see the phone line is lit up. I'll see if I can take the call on. Go ahead, caller. He'll be in a second. Yeah. So I want to just encourage you, talk to your family member. Don't let all our houses go down the waste and the business go down the drain. Leave it to a family member who shows respect. There are a lot of ungrateful family members out there too, so I can understand why a lot of persons don't want to communicate with them. Some of them you just can't. I can understand that there are some people you just can't work with. But if there's a family member out there in your family who that you could get some assistance from, just apologize. All right. The producers coming now. So phone lines lighten up. Producer, we can take 1 or 2 of these calls. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside Inner City.
Hey, Scrooge, how you doing, man?
I'm fine. Good night to you.
Listen, man, I was wondering, you think part of the solution to the immigration problem that they increased the work permits? If you put the work permits for the average worker up to the minimum wage, threshold, then there's no reason for them to apply.
Yes, sir.
Because nobody will want to pay. Let's say if they put it for 15,000, or they're about 18,000, then who's gonna come? That's what one of the guys that move up a work permit here said to me. He said if they put that there, nobody will come.
Yes, that means you just makes sense.
Because you say if you're not skilled, for example, right? I remember when we opened a company overseas in the PRC. If you didn't have a university degree, they wasn't letting you come in there to run nothing because they said, "What are you offering to our country?"
Makes sense.
If I agree, if you're going to bring so much unskilled, then have a quota and have it regularized. But other than that, just increase it, and then I think they don't want to come.
Makes sense.
Because they can't, even the money that they sending back, tax that.
It has to be some solution to this because we are losing all around. No, that's payment money. That's
tax the outflow. So,
yes.
And then another thing, the central bank. I don't understand why, with all this foreign currency in the country, why they don't allow Bahamians to have U.S. currency. They can have Bahamian currency.
My point exactly, because they know the value and what we can do with that.
Yep. Take for instance, right under the Minister's administration.
Go ahead, sir.
He said the businesses could have at least up to 100,000 into their account.
Yes, sir.
The other day we go there and try to deposit the U.S. The bank saying we're not going to take your U.S. unless it's coming from outside.
See?
That don't make no sense.
No sense.
So you can imagine if we have 100,000 of our citizens have U.S. currency in their account.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, right? All we need to do is restrict the outflow. You can have 100,000 come in on your account,
yes,
but
sir.
you can only you could only use 10,000.
That's right. Just like I to get to the airport, you only could bring 10,000 out, right?
No, annually you only could take 10,000 to go out.
So
now
yes.
if you're gonna pay, if you have a business and you can send it through the bank,
yes,
then you can do it that way. But each individual only can take 10,000 a year out, and let that currency fester in the locals' account. What's wrong with that?
Yes.
You can have Bahamian dollars. When I was in the PRC, I had U.S. dollars in my account.
See?
And I had their country's money in my account.
See, remember I said it earlier, but Haiti, when you have the U.S., you have the Haitian money, and the France money in it. You see?
and it's not making no sense. Another thing again, we cannot even go and buy shares in U.S. companies from here unless we go through an agent here to regulate our money. They're making a fee. We should be able to do that directly if we want.
Yes, sir.
It is asinine to these people, what they're doing, man.
Yes, sir.
But another thing I want to say, right, do you believe we should probably look at the gun laws where each responsible home should be able to carry a handgun? This thing too serious, man. What's your view on that? I think we need to have the discussion because, man, I just saw like machine gun on the road in my neighborhood.
Well, sometimes it's good to have neighbors who are well prepared and armed because they could save someone's life and save their own life because you have a lot of reckless and dangerous people running around the streets. And sometimes people could help if they're trained properly, go through all the proper procedures to get their gun hand permit. And in some cases...
No, but
go ahead.
Scrooge, what I'm saying is that if they vet, good citizens who can go through the process of being trained.
Yes, sir.
And if these people know you have a gun in your possession and you have a license,
that's a deterrent. That's a deterrent.
You think people be killing anybody? They don't know who I am.
That'd be deterrent. It would be deterrent on that street because just if you have a bunch of young guys out there, you don't listen to nobody, and you see them with illegal firearms, they're shooting off, and you come out and you approach them and say, "Hey, buddy, listen, we don't want you doing that, all right? We don't want you to have to leave into this corner, and etc." And they know you have a licensed firearm, knowing that they can use their firearm to protect themselves and their community as part of community watch. This is the deterrent because they're not going to hang up there.
Well, I would protect my community if I get a legal firearm and they give me the rights to do it.
Yes, sir.
Ain't nobody can come on here playing crazy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree.
But the currency thing it's like It don't make no sense. For all the banks, we working for the banks. We go and put all our U.S. currency in there. They repatriate, and it just don't make no sense. You know.
That's why we got to be able to harness that, and we'd see a change, Bahamas. We won't have this 18%, or which is way more than 80%. And
anyway, for me, right, I ain't care about no party. I care about your policy.
That's right.
Show me your policy. How you got in the bond?
Yes, sir.
I don't care about no party. I vote for anybody who makes sense.
That's how it go. That's what we vote for now. Anyone who making sense. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you need to make sense to me because I don't care about your colors.
Yes, sir.
Give me your policy, and they need to make sense.
Thank you very much. You did a wonderful job.
All right, good.
Thank you very much. Yes, and Bahamian people, he made a point. I made the point. We don't have no U.S. currency. The money goes to China. The U.S. goes to China. American takes the money out. All American currency that make to the scrub market. All the stores downtown that are shipped out. The Haitians, the Chinese, the French, and all of that live not supposed to be richer for us. That's why Bahamian so poor now. We're going to take this next call. Ali, we can take this next call? Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside in the City.
I'm pleasant. Good evening, Scrooge. How you doing?
Man, I want to hear from you, man, because you was a crazy man.
That crazy?
Yeah, man. Go ahead, Sparky.
You want to hear something that's so funny to me is, how come if we go to get a gun, if we go to outdoor sportsman to get a gun, we only could get a gun for hunting. Scrooge, we live in a little island, 21/7. Most of the outside portions of the island, they turn into gated community. They jam all us in the middle. And where's there in the Bahamas and New Providence to go hunting? And hunting for what? There's no white-crowned pigeons in Nassau. There's no bullhog running around in the bushes in Nassau. The only place people go hunting in the Bahamas right now is either in Abaco or in Andros for white-crowned pigeon or what they call it, wild hog. Mm-hmm. But they selling you the 12-gauge shotgun for hunting. But you ain't no place to go hunting. And then in the meantime, the police, they got their ammunition and their bulletproof vests. The criminals got their bulletproof vests and their AK-47. And me and you, the poor little citizens in the middle, we ain't got nothing to protect ourselves. And on the other side of that, Scrooge, when we look around, the situations you talk about, I watch a lot of world news, like BBC and all of them things.
Yes, sir.
All day, all night, I watch them kind of things. And these things, what we see going on in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean and so forth, these things are happening all around the world. And you know what it really boils down to, if you look at it? It's greed from the top, you know.
Yes, that's all it is.
Chairmen and vice presidents and people who own these big corporations and companies, they have everything in the world any human being could possibly need. You got people buying them, but they have $97 billion in their account. They got the biggest yachts, the biggest apartments, the biggest hotels, the best of everything around the world. You got $98 billion. You will never be able to spend that. Your family will never be. But people around the world starving. You're putting up the cost of living on everything, but you don't even have to pay for nothing because you own the company what's selling the steak to me. You own that company. You own the water company. You own everything, but you're putting up the price on me. And then on top of it, the real fact is the population amount around the world is exploding daily. This ain't only happening in the Bahamas, Scrooge. You look right in Mexico, right on the borders of the United States. You got Haitians, Colombians, Mexicans, people from Peru, everybody walking, trying to cross the border to get in America. In Europe, you got people leaving Africa, Libya, all over the place, trying to get to Europe. You got people in Europe trying to leave France and everything, trying to get to England. People all over the world trying to get to some other place for a better way of living. And it's all because of greed to the top. Like I always tell people, like I said this last thing, Scrooge, in 1977, a box of Rottmans was 50 cents a pack with 20 sticks in it, right? Now guess what? This is 2023. A box of Rottman now is $11.
Yes.
It was 50 cents, but it still only got 20 sticks in a box.
Yeah.
The same tobacco, the same box, the same amount of cigarette sticks, but it don't cost 50 cents no more. It costs $11. That's the people at the top would call themselves the chairman and the vice chairman and the owners and them. They want more profits for them and their family, so they pass the doggone bill down. And if you hook on the cigarette, would they put the doggone stuff in there to hook you? You hook for life for smoking cigarette while they going rich.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. You did a
All
wonderful
right.
job. Yeah, man. Awesome. You know, and like I say, when I was talking about what the young gentleman said when he was referring back to Lincoln Bain, when he talked about the fact about him asking for $150 per day, you know, for his talent. You know, Sparky just said how a pack of Rodmans went for 50 cents. Pewdy Bakery used to sell a loaf of bread to send people for 12 cents. And I think before that, it was 7 cents, a loaf of bread. It was 7 cents, I can remember as a little boy. Then it gone from 7 cents to 12 cents, then 21 cents. Y'all remember that? Yep. Yeah. And with all the money going out the country, we're going to France, we're going to the U.S., the majority going to the U.S. and Canada and China, then Haiti, and I think America. America's for third. Yeah, hold on, I'm going to get it right. I think it's America, Canada, China, and then Haiti, and then Jamaica. And this is where the majority of the money that is made here from the workers, legal, and then shipped out the country. And if we look at that, what annually goes out of the country, I don't know actually what annually goes out of the country, but I can tell you, yearly, it could be over $1 billion, probably $2 billion. And that's the money what's supposed to be circulating with all the various business in the city community. You understand? Barber shops, tourism products, you know, small convenience stores, the game rooms, the small theaters, and etc. You know? We're going to have to find a way to create again. Too much money leaving the Bahamas. And like the caller stated, the government of the Bahamas is going to have to find a way on how they're going to tax money leaving out this country. Okay? Especially to certain countries. And I'm not saying this to stop no one from benefiting or to help their family. But if we don't stop here in the country and come up with some type of regulation, we're going to be in big trouble. Country's going to get no better. You see the shooting we having every day. You know, that's why people are calling now for people to be armed. You can't blame them, you know, because every day is a shooting. Every day is an ambush. Every different day in every different community. And like I say, same crime, just different people. But everyone got the same mentality. And we have yet still to figure out what the problem is. The problem is poverty. The problem is underdeveloped communities. The problem is broken homes. The problem is government. Instead of investing in the people, they rather go on, what is this here? What is? They're going from, let me say it again. Government going from their travel expenditure, what it was now. I just want to find it again. All right, government travel budget grows from 14.8 million to 18.8 million. Now governments have to travel, but 14.8% to 18.8 million. And they're talking about these things where the Prime Minister has to go and his cabinet has to go, like CARICOM. You know, what his Permanent Secretary give him to travel. $18.8 million. You imagine that, to travel for the government of the Bahamas. And again, I'm going to read this again. 11, how much what it is? 111.5 million in 46 months. The revenue's up. Deficit comes in at 285.7 million, and the debt increased to over 11 billion. Government travel plan budget grows from 14.8 million to 18.8 million. Yep. So that's a lot of money to spend on travel. And I'm listening to the government with community centers. I'm listening to see how they're going to provide jobs for persons in inner city communities. I don't think they have an idea. I don't think no government has an idea because they don't think like that. One of the reasons I'm going to say don't sit around and wait on government. Here's why I don't sit around and wait on government. That's why I did my part as designing the urban design lab, which is the overall initiative, so that something we come up with a plan that could be beneficial to the country. Here's the reason why I don't wait on government. I had close connect with Sir Lyndon Pinland. Personal connect, I met him personally. We did some work together. Late great Sir Lyndon Pinland. I met the Honorable Perry Glasson Christie, did some work with him also. I talked to him on many different occasions privately. I also talked to the late great Dr. Bernard Nordich. An event at Salem Union, Dr. Bernard Nordich, the late great Dr. Bernard Nordich. He was the Minister of National Security. I was invited along with Pastor Hugh Road to make a guest appearance at Salem Baptist Church on behalf of the church and the Minister of National Security. I was there. And the minister looked me right in the eyes because he knows I was telling him, so I used the minister now, I used the guy who in charge of Baintown, I used the representative of Baintown. I know you could fix these houses. I know you could provide opportunities for jobs and all this stuff. The minister looked at me in my eyes and he said this to me. He said, many people would want me to do certain things as an individual, as the Minister of National Security. But he said, as a parliamentary, he is bound that he cannot spend his own money on the people. Hear that? So when he said that to me, when he made that speech, he looked me in the eye, and then we had a private meeting. He said, told me this. He said, we can't take our money out of our own personal pocket to go invest in the inner city community or invest with nobody. You as a citizen got to come up with creative ideas and get me to go in parliament and pass legislation in order to help you if you want me to help you. You hear that? So if all y'all looking for change, you're going to be the one to have to make that change. Mr. Christie told me the same thing too. You hear me? Can't take his own money out of his pocket. They bound by some type of law that they sign on to that they can't take money out of their own pocket. Yeah? It's a breach of some type of policy. You hear me? We're going to take this last call. Caller, you get but 2 minutes, so if you can make it real quick. We're completely out of time. Go ahead, caller.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's the first time I call your show, but I always hear you on it.
Okay, good.
You know, like I hear you talk about when the bread was 11 cents. They've been around in them times.
Okay.
That was good times then, but it was more like more behemoths was running, more
Tell me,
love,
yes, tell us about that. Go ahead.
More neighborly love, more neighbors was run, loving one another. And things like now what happening now, the brother, like things change so tremendously right now. Like it ain't get no better right now. If you believe in God, and the Bible is real, the land is full of blood. Man.
Yeah.
Like God on the back, you know. The leaders them fail, the people because of corruption, the churches that fail. It's about money. You understand I say?
Yes,
like things will never be the way to be no more just to be. You get worse up and worse up. I saw it stay that way. Corruption kick in, man. Listen, drugs destroy the Cornwall farmers. You understand? I say destroy
family structure.
Men I know. I from East Street, you know.
I listening.
A lot of men die because of drugs. Like it just mash up the place, man.
Destroy the family structure.
Sad. It's so sad to see what's going on right now, and it's hard right now to build a better Bahamas with different races because everybody bringing their own agenda.
Yes.
It ain't more about country anymore.
Go ahead.
People throw away country.
Go ahead.
It ain't about the Bahamas no more. It ain't more behemoth.
Remember I said the island? Remember I said we trying to be a concrete jungle?
Yes.
And I say we supposed to be an island?
Yes.
That's what I was referring to. And you come right out and say it. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, and then someone try to rise up to open up the people's eyes about what's going on about the truth. They can try to solve that poison.
Yeah.
And they can show all kind of poison that way, so the people can run with that. Oh boy, that poison is no good. So they just want to continue to be in power.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, sir.
No political party, PLP, FNM, can help this place right now.
I tell the people, you gotta do it yourself.
We can't. Don't look for Brave Davis to be the savior.
No,
don't
sir.
look for the other political party to be the savior. No, man.
No, sir.
Right. You gotta be asking God
That's
to
right.
forgive us and give you strength to make it for another day, man.
Yes.
Try see if you can make this thing work yourself.
And bring some...
Like you say earlier, ain't nobody giving you nothing proper. This thing called over the wrath of God now is revealing from heaven against all unrighteousness and ungodliness. Look what's going on, man, Scrooge.
Yep.
Look at all our system, everything going false. Like it's no more naturality, no more in the world. Everything is just false. Like everyone that's gone astray, man, gone contrary. Look what's happening. Like there's no more God in the world. I believe there's a God, man, because it's nature. When I look at nature, I look at God. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
This is some serious time, Papa.
Yeah.
The police force is corrupt. This is the enemy waking the enemy. The enemy trying to wobble everything. He trying to control everything, and this is what's going on. The people are buying into it.
Yeah.
Off this world, the things of this world. That's what's going on. Everyone preaching prosperity, but no one trying to do the right thing. To earn this prosperity, man, they did it in the crooked way. And that's what causing the problem. Be in trouble. Young man be in trouble. You said you been around for my time. I think I know you too. I'm one of the hardest ghetto right now was for my Venezuelan.
Yeah, if you go all that's in the city community, all the whole East, you know how that was, you know how the neighborhood was.
And I watching this place deteriorate.
Yeah. The family, the
different nations. It's hard to build a better nation with different races, man.
I said
they bringing their own agenda there for our country. They for where they come from. They try to keep that going.
I told them
people coming looking for better life, like you say. Like the man calling with the name calling and say, people moving from all over the world going different places. So why this is what's going on?
Yeah.
This is why schools upstairs in their heart, there's no God, man. They feel like they can let this thing work by themselves. But all we doing is destroying one another because of iniquity, man.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna better. The churches gotta go down on their knees and humble themselves now.
Yeah. I agree.
The government is out of hand and say, where you put more?
Yeah, you could see. They gone contrary in the last 3 months. It was smooth sailing now. All of a sudden, now you could see like there's a backlash and people right now ain't feeling them right now.
Everything coming back to bite us right now. One time ago, we used to be farming.
All this stuff.
In our backyard.
Island. I say we was island. I say we was island. We was island. Now I got an old car in the back of the yard.
That's what's going on.
Old car and garbage.
The inner cities to be so clean.
No,
everyone is so lovely and wonderful. People children them going to church on Sunday. You got to go to church. That's mandatory.
Nah, no more Sunday church no more.
No more Sunday church no more, man.
No more Sunday church.
The children on the side of the road now, crazy they get on because the parents crazy they get on around them and they engage around their children.
Yes, sir.
So they raise monsters.
Yes, sir.
This was going on. You know, I never had my mommy crazy and God bless her. My mommy died. Never had my mother was upstate like was us as children.
The Black Rob syndrome.
What she used to say is don't make me sin. But now, everybody ride around these girls cursing up in their 2-year-old children and they them big terrible voice and things, you know.
When I be saying it on the radio, I'm glad you saying it.
You hear me? This is what's going on. So when the children read 9 and 10, they're monsters.
Yep.
You know what I say? This is what's going on. So this is a home problem we have.
Yeah, family values
are completely... It's a home problem.
Yep.
If you get your house in order, then the city will get in order.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
As long as the house out of order, the city can be out of order.
I always tell them the family structure, the drugs destroy the family structure, and we could try all we want, and unless we try to get back the family structure, it's all over like the gentleman says. It's gone.
We lose the family structure, my brother.
Yes.
One time ago, when I come from school, my mommy would wait. The neighbor got me on the road. The neighbor got the key. You can't even do it anymore now.
It was community. It was a community togetherness.
That's right. Scrooge, we have a major international community problem.
Yep.
We have major international immigration problem. We have major international hospital problem.
Everything is
The health of the nation is the wealth of the nation. These people ain't built a big hospital yet. We supposed to have mega hospital.
I told
you.
You
go to hospital, you don't know body, you ain't gonna money, you're dead.
You finish.
It's a dump.
Yep.
You know what I say?
Yes, sir.
We have lost it.
Yes,
we have lost our savior, and we going astray.
Yeah.
But what a good night, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Man, it's my pleasure. You did one.
I could go on all night, Scrooge.
Yeah. I just want to say thanks. Completely out of time, though, but you did a wonderful job, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, my brother.
Okay. Take time, and I appreciate taking time to listen to Inside in the City. And for all you out there, yeah, that's our country, you know. After illegal immigrants, Asian migration to the Bahamian, what effect it has on it? It has many effects on us. I just showed you and give you prime examples, not only with them, but they're one of the major factors. And like I said, you know, they're looking for a better way of life, but it has put so much pressure on us, you know. It's practically just changed our culture, you know. Now we have to find a way on how to regain our identity if we still have time. We can't let our country end up like how Haiti is right now in certain parts of Haiti, especially in Port-au-Prince, where, you know, you have gangs and communities against one another, and no one is leading in the right direction. Everyone is just talking violence. You know, we have to find a peaceful solutions to our country's problem, and I think we have to find a way on how we can tax the money that's leaving this country. We have to find a way on how we could get American currency in the hands of Bahamian, and I think the way of doing that is because we are segregated. They don't want the tourist customers to come over in the city community to spend American dollars in our community. We've been segregated for the Bahamas now going on 40 years. You could imagine if we were to break that segregation, where we have small local business like how we had 40, 50 years ago, where we had tourists coming over spending American dollars parking in the city community again. This in turn would increase the family structure, because men and women now can work together to achieve their goal as to having a better life and have a wonderful income with the 7 million, the 10 million visitors that comes to our shores. This could change dramatically for us. You know, so I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. I want to say thanks to the many callers. I want to say thanks to Sparky. You know, Sparky, your boy Sparky is a hard one. I don't know what's wrong with Sparky. Sparky need to stop drinking, you know. But to everyone who's listening, I want to say to you, you know, Brave Davis is going to help a lot of people, but he's going to not help a lot of people because he can't. He's only one man. He has his party to deal with. He has a lot of generals to deal with. He has a lot of people who he made promises to. That's why they're getting death threats now, because the persons who they feel the Prime Minister or the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture owes them a favor, and you can see their response because of desperate times, and we rely on government. We give our all to be campaign generals, and then, you know, like I said, the minister sometimes or the prime minister sometimes get busy and not forget about you. Just have so many other people that they're dealing with that they kind of forget you. And many people be upset. You know, he said that the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture needs to call him. If you don't call him, he can blow up the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. So it just shows you desperation in the hearts and minds of people living today who are struggling. So think of something useful. Make a bright light in your community. Don't let the darkness consume you. Yeah, there might be people doing a lot of wrong in the community, but you still could be a bright light and still make things happen in this country. So without further ado, I'd like to say good night to each and every one of you, especially for those who listen to the show tonight. And I hope this show reach your heart tonight and let you see what we are facing in the country when it comes to 18% of Bahamians don't have access to banking. And then we have the next 45 to 50,000 Bahamians who are unemployed. And I could say that could be 150,000 people Bahamians in this country unemployed. And I could say the same thing for the unbanked 70%, 70,000 Bahamians who do not have no access to banking because the money's leaving the country going to, again, Canada, U.S., China, Haiti, Jamaica, and Europe. And then we are left with cents in this country. And it's unfair to us. The money needs to circulate from Bay Street to South Beach, from South Beach back to Bay Street. So we'll see you next week on Inside the Inner City on Garden Radio, 96.9 FM. I'm Valentino Brown, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City.
La 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 la. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two